Hello everyone and welcome to another traditional draft of Brothers War, and a fairly weak first pack, but there's still a card I'm happy to first pick. It's the Scrapwork Mat. It is the best common out of this pack, and yeah, the rare is of course nice if you are white and red, or at least splash the other, or have like unearth costs for the other, but it's not really a card you first pick. Yeah, the uncommons are not really that great, so I'll take the Mat just because it's the best card in the pack. It's not maybe the kind of first pick you are too happy to have, but then again, any Mats in your deck are gonna improve the quality a little bit because it is, you know, the better, one of the better 2-drops, and you can run it in any color of decks. You usually want to have some way to get the red unearthed if you can like freely enable the red somehow, but if you can't, you can just play this as a 2-mana, decent 2-drop that does something, and it's a May ability, so you don't have to you don't have to discard if you don't want to. So it's a pure upside. All right, so this pack has both the retro artifact and the regular rare in the pack, and the player to my right didn't take an uncommon either, so a common has been taken. Okay, so the Faithful Handoff is not good. Blackblade Reforged. I would be happy to run this if I manage to get somehow like 3 legendary creatures, or I have a lot of power stones to actually make the Equip 7 something I can actually accomplish. I'm not going to pick it now. The best cards in the pack, I believe, are still the Steel Seeker and the Golem. Both are sort of green. You can play the Golem in some non-green decks if you have the mana production for it. Mostly power stones. Alright, I suppose... Yeah, it's another fairly weak pack, but the Steel Seeker can do some nice job. I already have one artifact here, so let's take the Steel Seeker and see if I can, find some signals here. Not necessarily signals, but I have many good options here. First of all, there's a very good blue card, Mightstone's animation. If you pick it early, you can, draft around it to give it a sufficient support. And then there's a totally reasonable card, Mithras Bauble, Combat Courier, Emergency Weld, Strong Bull, maybe the Causer, but I do like the Causer more in decks that have some ways to actually fill the graveyard with creatures. Because it's not always going to be trivial that you have 3 creatures in your graveyard, even later in the game, because of unearth and opponent maybe exiling stuff from your graveyard. I basically want to combine this with some of the self-mill stuff. But what is the pick now? I could take the Weld, I'm not taking the green stuff here. Strong Bull, I guess I can take the Strong Bull. I have the Mud, they kind of combine well. But you could take, the Mightstone's animation too, but this is totally reasonable pick too. This pack, I think I have a playset of these, so yep. Mesmeric Orb is a symmetrical effect. It's not easy to mill your opponent with that thing. You might end up milling yourself depending on the matchup and all that, so I don't like it even as a sideboard card. Alright, so actually quite weak packs here. I suppose I can take the Clear Cutter, be like maybe the Strong Bull isn't really a good card in a ramp deck. Clear Cutter is good in a ramp deck, so is the Demolisher here. But, I'm not taking like a Whirling Strike here. I'm gonna take the Clear Cutter still. But it's no, I don't think it is going to pair that well with the Strong Bull. I could still be, something that doesn't involve red at all, or maybe has like a splash for the unearth here. Alright, so this is a pack from which I think I can take the Sprite. It's such a nice 2-drop, and that works very well with the Clear Cutter because this allows you to get to the 7 mana easier. Other cards worth considering: Weakstone's Subjugation, Pristine Talisman. I really like the gain 1 life part of this card. It can really help in the aggressive matchups. Warblow would be fine if I had some black, but I think I would take the Powerstone Fracture over it if I wanted to take a black card here. But I'm gonna take the green 2-drop now. And this pack, well, don't see a lot of red. The Unleash Shell isn't that great. I could take the shoot down, I could take the combat courier. I think my previous draft, yeah, it was the blue-green ramp deck. That was pretty fun stuff. I have nothing else from blue, so should I take the courier? Now the courier is playable in decks that don't have the blue for the unearthed, but it's not. It's a bit underwhelming in that case. It does trigger my Steel Seeker at least. I think I still take the shoot down. It's a totally reasonable sideboard card. Sometimes you may even main deck it, but I think in best of three, well, where you have access to sideboard, I like to start it with it in the sideboard because it's quite clumsy against some matchups. All right, here. If I want to stay red, I should take maybe the infantry, but maybe even without, even if I am ending up with red, I should take the wings. The green cards definitely want to fly over. Sometimes you have some big green creatures that can be jump blocked. I'll take the wings now over the infantry, which is a pretty, mediocre 3-drop in fact. Wow, this pack one hasn't really been impressive. I don't expect to get something, amazing at pick number 8, but this is just I'm not actually happy. I'm not actually happy to run any of these cards. So, I mean, I have like 3 artifacts. The Scrapsmith can do some work. Pallbearer can be, but I don't like 6 drops that can't be cast with Power Stone mana in this format because usually your 6 drops I mean, I want to rely a bit on the Power Stones. I'm gonna just take the uncommon actually. I don't really know if that. I mean, I could have taken the 6-drop, but it's just not even that good. 6 mana 5/5 trample. Yeah, it has an ETB, but that's not really often that relevant. Now I'm gonna take the guy's gift here. That's an easy pick. So I think I will be green. I'm not sure about my second color yet. I really don't like the chain dancer. I'll just take the rare for 20 gems here. I don't think the scatter ray is that great either. Even if I move to blue, I don't think I care about it. Okay, well, green is open because actually all of these are playable. This is also, but I have the wings already. I don't like the dredging claw. That's a pretty bad one, I think. 2-drop or a 3-drop or a giant growth. I don't think I need a 3. I'm gonna take the 3. I mean the 2-drop here. I'm going to take the patrol. I have found that you usually get the giant growths quite late. Okay, honor guard, fine. Hey, maybe this is a mono green deck and I find a Blanchwood armor in the later draft. Let's take the Tower Worker. Probably not gonna play it, but who knows? Okay, let's take the uncommon. I don't like the curate, and even if I end up blue, I like the curate only in the decks that actually benefit from either casting the non-creature spell or the card draw for the double draw a mechanic. I'm 2 cards a turn, or the second card per turn drawn mechanic. Yeah, here it's pretty easy. Siege Veteran. If this rare wasn't so good, I would just take the Syndemo and still try to see if the red can work. But of course, Siege Veteran not, especially because I can just move to green-white. And this is even without. I'm gonna still be able to splash this. It's early in the draft, so I can find some fixing, even if white really isn't gonna be open here. Yeah, it's an easy pick because it's just such a nice card. Amazing bomb, actually. Yeah, it does eat removal, but then again, you prefer that you have a. I mean, if you're 3 mana card creature eats a removal spell, that's usually quite cheap for a creature. So that at least means that if you have something more expensive, maybe then the opponent don't have the removal for those things. All right, so Dissident easy pick because I want to pick green white, and this pack is also quite weak. I would take the Refractor to enable the Mats unearth. But yeah, of course, this is gonna be the Dissident. Also, I have now 2 reasons to pick a lot of artifacts for the Steel Seeker and the Dissident. I guess a little bit for the Patrol as well, but it's not as important. That also might be a reason enough to play the Tower Worker in the deck, but probably not. I'm gonna cut the Strong Bull for now. I will play the Scrapworker mod even without access to red. Here, interesting. There's actually an Arbalest Engineers, which could be interesting if I could splash for red. But there's still a lot of the power of this card comes from the fact that you can, if you can cast it on turn 3, If you just splash red or green, it's not that amazing. So I think I'm just going to take another Steel Seeker here. Pretty easy pickup, I would say. But I would have gotten some nice red there, the Syndemo, and then the red-green uncommon there if the pack didn't start with the Siege Veteran. Okay, well there's a Vanguard, but there's a Sprite which is better, so I'm gonna take the Sprite here. Lantern would be played here. I'm not sure if the white is going to be that open, but I guess I'll see. I got an Opportunist. Well, that's definitely a nice card, even if I don't necessarily have that many uses for the Power Stone. But I already have, two sprites which I can use the Power Stone for their abilities. But it also gives me an artifact, and I have a Dissident and 2 Steel Seekers, which is, already three things that can benefit from the artifact entering the battlefield. So it's not like this pack has a lot of better options. I would play the Onulet in this deck probably, but yeah, the Opportunist is quite nice there. And here we have I'm not sure about the Alloy Animist. But I'm actually pretty sure it's not going to have enough things to transform into a temporary creature, so I'll just take the Giant Growth. It's always fine. I don't think I want to ever run like two of these. The Riposte is a nice sideboard card, but green-white wants to be more aggressive, so I'd rather have the Giant Growth, which I can use also offensively, than the almost purely defensive card. Alright. Warlord's Elite is decent, but because of the artifact scenarios I have here somewhat, I think I'm taking the Onulet. Yeah, this can be cheaper, but I can use my 1 Power Stone for it. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Onulet. I think it's better. Both are 4/4s. But I think this deck benefits more from the Onulet than the non-artifact creature. Alright, so Recommission is pretty easy pickup when you have a Siege Veteran, and also other things you are happy to return, like the Sprite, even the Dissident. Yeah, that's actually a card I'm very happy to pick here. I didn't get a lot of white here, but I don't need it. I think this is, there was no really clear, I didn't get like a 5th pick Excavation Explosion or anything like that, so this there was no reason to be any other color either. The rare can dictate my second color here, that's totally fine to do in this draft now. Do I want to play another Perimeter Patrol here? It is a soldier, so I guess there's like a little bit of synergy for the Siege Veteran. I think I have 1 Giant Growth and 1 Guy's Gift. I'll just take the Patrol here, and then that's another reason to keep running as many artifacts as I can. Now this deck doesn't have a lot of them, only 5 and 1 card I think, which makes an artifact the Opportunist here. But anyway, the Haywire Might is, I guess it could be a main deckable card in this deck because I care about the artifacts, but I might still cut it. I will put to the main deck for now. Alright, I have 1 Wings. Should I take another Power Blade instead of the Wings? I guess I'm gonna, split it up. Because the +2/+0 of course is more than the +1/+0. The equip cost can be cheaper in this deck, which has some number of soldiers. Yeah, I just don't feel like I want to run 2 of those Wings. No one else likes them either. All of them get passed pretty late. So am I going to take the Clear Cutter? There's not really that many reasons to play it. I actually take the Tinkering here. It's something that people don't usually expect. It's such a, usually a bad card, but this late in the format, people rarely play around this. And you can maybe get something, surprise your opponent with it. It's not like I'm necessarily going to play it in my deck, but I will want to maybe consider the option to have it. But the point is that about not picking the Clear Cutter, that it's just not going to do much in my deck. I'm not even sure if I want to run the first one. Okay, I'll take the Riposte, which is probably a sideboard card. This is definitely not that interesting. Okay, so pack 2 was quite weak. After the Siege Veteran, I didn't really get very good stuff, but here I have something better. I have many options, but I think I will take the Crusher because I do have enough synergy for artifacts that I should, you know, slightly prefer them over the other options. The chaplain wouldn't be bad either. I have one shoot down already here, so yeah, easy crusher can be a nice 4-drop, and of course even nicer 7-drop. But you don't really need to wait until 7 mana with this card. This is totally fine to play as a 2/5/4/4. It's a very good blocker, and then of course as an attacker it can function as a 4/5, and then you can still pump some of your other creatures. Okay, Foundry Inspector, Powerstone Engineer, and there's also the Airlift Chaplain here. So it's gonna be one of those. Don't think I'm gonna take the Escape now. The Foundry Inspector doesn't do that much, but it is a good, I mean, it's a playable artifact, and I really have reasons to play artifacts, and I actually like it more than the Tower Worker here, for sure. I have a bunch of 2-drops here, so the Powerstone Engineer might not be that necessary. I take the artifact now because I really want to focus on having them for my triggers. Okay, reconstructed drop. Very difficult to say the word. Reconstructed Thopter is my choice here. I mean, I could take like a 3rd perimeter patrol, but I mean, I really actually think this is a lot better for multiple reasons. First of all, sometimes you just prefer the 2/1 flyer over this ground guy, but mostly because this gives me potentially 2, you know, triggers for the, you know, the things that care about artifacts entering the battlefield. Alright, so I have another shot at a Powerstone Engineer. There is also... well, there is a Springleaf Drum, but the Mutt is the only thing that cares about having some other color than green or white in this deck. I don't think it's a high priority here, even though it is an artifact trigger. I'm thinking if I want to play the Engineer over the Vanguard. I don't have that many uses for the Powerstone, but then again... It's actually a tough one. It's gonna be one of the 2-drops. Okay, fine, I'll take the Powerstone. I do have 2 sprites, so I do have some uses for Powerstones. Okay, I'm seeing another Arbalest Engineer here now. But now I'll just take the Amulet. I prefer an artifact. I can also take some, you know, a little bit, you know, bigger hitters here. My curve is pretty low, so I can take the 5-drop. And that's also one reason, you know, that it's also made a little bit better because of me taking the Powerstone Engineer here, so I can actually help get the mana easier now. Or the Powerstone Engineer can help get the mana for this thing easier. Okay. And oh wow, this could have been, I mean, I think I still prefer having the Siege Veteran in the deck, but this could have been a triple Arbalest Engineers red-green deck. That would have been cool. Alright, Wellspring doesn't really do much here, but I'm gonna take the Thopter over the Elite for the artifact synergy reasons. And here I have a Disenchant, yet another Asari Perimeter Patrol, also an Anagard here. I think it might be time to get the Disenchant. I have the Shoot Down, but it doesn't hurt to have more options in the sideboard. My deck is lacking removal, so I think I'm gonna take this. I don't think I need this. I have enough creatures here. I'm not gonna take those 3 or 2-drops there. Let's take the Disenchant now, and here another Might. Well, I guess I'm gonna play it over, you know, this nonsense that I see here. So I'm not gonna play 2 Mights in the main deck. That's it for sure. Alright, so here, well, I'm not taking the Mindworker, even if it is an artifact. The Pallbearer is still not interesting, really. Should it be interesting? Should I take the Prowler? Maybe I can take one of these Tramplers. Let's try it. Escape is a decent one. Could be also a sideboard card. I of course have a bunch of cuts to make here. I haven't really decided what they will be. I don't think I'm gonna play the Dig Site in this deck. I'd rather play the Discipline if I need more tricks. Okay, another of these. This definitely goes to sideboard. Am I gonna play it? No, I'm not playing 2 Tower Workers. I'll just take the uncommon here. How's my vault? Close to another field vault. When you draft a lot, vault is actually gonna, you know, fill several times per set. Now I still got a Tower Worker here. Okay. Okay, and as you can see, I got my Vault field now. Alright, I don't think this deck is very good. After the Siege Veteran, I didn't really get really much anything that's kind of exciting at all. But we'll see how it goes. That's what I always say. Clear cutter. So let's see now. This is a lot of cards. There are some easy cuts, I believe. I'm gonna cut the escape from the main deck. I guess the might. It is an artifact. Currently I'm at 12 artifacts. I can afford to cut like the weakest of them. Might will be a sideboard option. Discipline is a sideboard option. Deadly Riposte maybe 2. Honor Guard, do I need it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 2-drops. Probably not needed in the main deck at least. It is a soldier, but I mean, okay, I have 3 soldiers in my deck only, so the Power Blade isn't that good, but you can still equip it around with 2 mana, which is a little bit expensive, but it could be interesting for my couple of flyers, for instance. But yeah, the Siege Veteran, of course, benefits from other soldiers too, but maybe it's not such a high priority, because the more important part of this card is definitely the continuous +1/+1 counters that you can pump out. Now, I think I have such a low removal count. Well, I don't have any removal, don't I? Oh, no. So I'm gonna play the Tinkering here. I try to maybe surprise my opponent. Also, I can afford to play it because it's a 4-mana trick, but look at my mana curve here. I can definitely play it. Because nobody really expects this card, so because this has the untap that permanent part. So in some sets, there's an actually playable combat, very nice playable combat trick that untaps the creature. Then people won't, attack into such boards unless they have interaction, or at least they will be wary of it. But now, if I'm passing with 4 mana open, people don't usually think that I can untap one of my guys. I'd have it, also give it 2+1/+1 counters. And you can also, if you're really flooding out, you can make a land into a creature, but looking at the creature count here, I don't think I will be short on targets for this thing. Pallbearer says, when this enters the battlefield, target creature gets +X number of creature cards in your graveyard. The sad thing is that it doesn't give trample. Maybe would it have been like too strong because this this format has a self-mill archetype, especially if you're playing black and green both. If you can give consistently like +8/+8 and trample, maybe it would be like a little bit too obnoxious. But you really want to have an evasive threat for this thing, and I have like a couple of flyers, and I have the wings too, because it's so easy to just jump block the thing. Well, not all decks have easy jump blockers available. If the opponent has only like a 3/3 and a 4/4, they are not happy about jump blocking with either of those, but still, I don't think the Pallbearer is that good. About some further cuts, I'm still playing it because I actually could use some of these, higher end in this deck. And it's a 5/5 trampler, good with the giant growth. Can push some nice damage through. Yeah, I think a Tower Worker is still gonna be cut, even though it is an artifact here. I am at 10 artifacts still, plus an Opportunist and an Engineer that can also, give me triggers for the Dissident and the Steel Seekers. So I'm cutting because I just don't need a 3 mana 1/3 that taps for mana. I have only a few cards that actually, care about the accelerating. Mostly these 3 in here. And I have, still some other ways to accelerate that I don't need to, ramp up to them. Now, that is 25 cards. This is going to be a 16 land deck for sure. So I'm gonna have one more card, and is it gonna be the clear cutter? I guess I want to play this because this can add mana. Well, but so does the Tower Worker. It can add mana that the Pallbearer can be used to. You can cast the Pallbearer with the mana from the clear cutter, not from the mana from Power Stones. But this at least has the option to also be a 3/6, unlike this thing, which is always gonna be just. Well, this has the reach, but I don't really care about blocking with this deck. I'm more interested in being able to push through. So I think I'll play the clear cutter. If it wasn't an artifact, I would cut it, but because it is an additional trigger for that stuff that I have, I'm gonna keep it there. But maybe the final card, now that I have decided to play both the Tinkering and the Pallbearer, I'm not sure. It could be just another perimeter patrol, cutting my soldiers even more, making it a power blade. Basically a 3 mana equipment that gives +2/+0 with equip cost of 2. It's not great. But I like to have this also to, you know, make this thing to actually participate in combat, and it makes the Thopters also faster clocks in the air. So I think I'm gonna play it, and of course also, you know, because I do have the artifact synergy in this deck, so any artifact I play is going to be decent by default. Yeah, looking at my 3-drops, 1, 2, 3, 4. But yeah, I have enough 3-drops. I'm gonna cut one of the patrols. So let's try this Tinkering thing. 4 white cards, that's not a lot, but I sadly have these 2-drops here, so I need to play like an 8 and 8 mana base. At least I don't have any double green other than the Pallbearer. And this thing can add specifically green mana. Also another reason to, I mean, actually, yeah, this is also double green on turn 4, and also if I have like I can have easily 2 green spells to cast on turn 4 or turn 5, like a couple of these, or 3-drop. Yeah, I could need more green mana. So I'm actually thinking about 9/7. If I play 7 white sources, well, I guess, yeah, a lot of my 2-drops can still be cast without access to planes. And I have only, you know, actually 4 cards that require white mana. This Unearth also does, but it's later in the game when that's gonna be relevant. Well, I suppose with so many more green cards, and actually, realistically, I can need 2 green sources for 2 green spells turn 4 onwards. That I am going to in fact play 9/7 here, but it's a bit inconsistent for the white. All right, let's take some of this Amonkhet stuff and maybe what's this? This is from Dominator United. Yep. Okay, that's fine. All right, one of these green-white decks. I have had a few of these. Usually not that amazing ones, but I don't think the draft really. I mean, if I was red-green, because I would have the Cinder and then the triple Arbalest Engineers. Yeah, but even with those, I don't think the other red options were that amazing. So I would have been a bit lackluster red-green deck with those picks too. So I think the draft was just very weak, at least for my seat in the draft. I really couldn't see a powerful deck from that seat. So I think I have to be happy with this deck, which has at least something going on. So hopefully I can at least secure a couple of match wins. Okay, I have a decent hand here with a potentially turn 4 Amulet after going 2, 3, 4 here. I'm on the draw though, so I won't be able to be that aggressive. Also have 4 of my 7 planes here. Yeah, Marshall. Okay, that's fine. Well, I mean, this is gonna be the pick now, the play. Because yes, the Power Stone Engineer would have blocked this, but I can take 2 and then get value from the Dissident right away. Also, a blue-white deck isn't gonna have that easy time to get this from the battlefield. They can lock it down or something, but it doesn't prevent the triggered ability from happening. Okay, that's a bunch of air marshals there, and my 5th of my 7 planes, funnily. Well, I have no green cards in my hand, so the 1 forest will suffice now. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna give this Inspector the counter because, well, maybe I shouldn't, because this is good because it's gonna give me the Amulet. And when I give the Dissident a 3rd counter, it can actually, you know, do something in this board state. Yeah, I think the Inspector here should be kept intact, because I don't want the opponent to like to bounce it. I want to get the amulet on the next turn. This means I will take damage, although I won't because they have that. Well, that's I could attack into it, but they are not gonna block, and then. But it's not like the worst idea to attack into it, and in case they block, I can use the gift and then still have the Power Stone Engineer. But I think it's just better. I need this discount exactly once, so I'm gonna do this and give this the counter, and I'm fine trading with the elite here now. Which they are not doing. They can make this guy fly, but they also missed the land drop. Okay, they now got the land drop. But I mean, I have a 10 power here versus 8 power there. Well, it really depends on what they're gonna do this turn. They are not even going to... Oh, I got my Tinkering. I can't cast both the Gift and the Tinkering though. So, what is the... I mean, they're gonna have a trick of some kind. What are the options? There are some options, but with my tricks I shouldn't really care about it. I don't mind if they make some blocks. I don't have to use tricks unless they are gonna use tricks. What is command? They draw a card, give you -2/-. Okay. That's not so bad actually because of the Tinkering I have. Oh, getting value out of it already. Hahaha. Oh boy. Surprise! So I actually didn't see if there's Crichton top or bottom, but yeah, that was fun. Okay, Amulet. Well, I have my other thing here to allow me to survive this. I mean, if they double block the... I think if they block the Amulet, I'm just gonna let it go. I'd rather... Okay, this is so good now. Because I'm gonna be able to... I mean, I could just let this go too, but I think it's quite valuable to make this even bigger. And still let them deal with it somehow. Then I have the engineer, they get some alive, and them unearthing that is... Or they don't even want to continue. That has to mean that they don't have any... I mean, either they're really just somehow tilted of how the game went, but I mean, this is still going to be dealt with any kind of a bounce spell or a lockdown aura that blue and white might have. So the fact they considered before even seeing what's their next draw makes me feel like maybe they don't have such answers in their deck. Alright, well, they have the command, let's keep that in mind. They have an Amulet, which is a okay target for the shoot down because it exiles. Also, they are blue-white, so I'm assuming they will have some flyers. Maybe I should play the shoot down. At least the Amulet is a 100% an existing target for the shoot down, so I'm gonna play it. And I'm not going to play... What exactly? What exactly do I not need here? I could see cutting the other perimeter patrol. Maybe the power blade. No, I like the power blade. It makes these steel seekers able to do something in combat. How about the riposte? Actually, that's gonna deal with... Well, actually not with the 4/4s, only with the 2/1s. I didn't see any flyers. I'm sure they're gonna have some, but maybe I won't be playing the riposte. I still have to cut already because of the shoot down here. So, I mean, it's 18 creatures. I can still cut a creature, and this is, still a little bit unexciting. So let's cut. So the only soldier left in my deck. No, I have still 2, I guess. This Siege Veteran and what the other one is. Don't even really care, but I actually don't know what's my other soldier. Wait a minute, I cut the wrong card. Whoops. Yeah, this is the final soldier. Yeah, I want to keep the opportunist still. Yeah, so now I have only 1 soldier, the Siege Veteran. So the power blade won't be that good. Oh well. Shame I have this one lander with these. I mean, Dissident and Siege Veteran are my better cards, but I can't really keep this. Keep this one though. I still have the Siege Veteran. So, am I playing both of these 2-drops or just one? I actually think I want to play the Power Blade. Yeah, and I don't want to discard any of this stuff yet. I mean, I might draw excess lands that I want to discard for the mod. But this can give me a Power Stone token, which is useful in making this equip cost an easier thing. I think I'm gonna just cut the mod here. Alright, well that is also... Well, I guess the mod is now a little bit better because of the Dissident trigger, but I'm still happy to have that Dissident here now. So... Also that thing, wow. Are they gonna... No, they don't counter it. Okay, how to proceed? Well, it really depends on what they have. Now that I see these flyers, so I think the riposte can be now played. Alright, so they have no place on their own turn. What does that mean? Well, it's still mana efficient to do the veteran now. If it gets countered, then it does. I have at least a recommission in my deck. But next turn I can play an Engineer and a Steel Seeker. Okay, just a turn lesson. I can play an Engineer and a Steel Seeker on the next turn, and then on turn 5 I can get, you know, the triggers from these guys. And again, the blue-white is not really great against the Siege Veteran, because the removal is often based on locking down things, but there's still some other, yeah, like lay down arms, but they would have needed a third planes for that to deal with the Siege Veteran, so I don't actually mind them dealing with that guy. Air Marshal. So I think I should just... If I make this into a 3-3... Now, they might have a Deadly Riposte, so do I want to play around that? Yeah, I guess I like more... you know, I could attack for 3 here, but I think what I want to do more is... I'm gonna make the Steel Seeker into a 2-3. Now it's actually a size... you know, a threat. Well, it's not a threat, but it can... do something in combat, especially when I can make it into a 4-3 with this thing. And now this way I play around the Deadly Riposte, which could kill this because it deals 3 damage to tapped things. Because I'm of course gonna be a huge favorite here as long as the Siege Veteran survives. So I don't need to risk it now. They have only 3 damage, and for that they would need to, you know, attack with the Marshal. Now I can Foundry Inspector, so I can actually cast both of them now. This will be a 2-mana spell after I have this. The other... Yeah, problem with that is, of course, that then I can't really attack into the elite. Huh. I kind of like the idea to start attacking. Then they will attack back, but they might make this guy fly, so I can't even count on, you know, blocking that. So that's why I want to start dealing damage. So I think that's what I'm gonna do then. I'm gonna play this, and I will leave the Inspector for the next turn. That's gonna... Oh, that's gonna be a card I wanna draw for sure. Equip on the Power Stone Engineer. And I guess I'm also going to just... I could still give the Steel Seeker the counter actually. But maybe I should push for damage here. I will take some damage on their turn for sure, but I am at 20. I'm not too concerned. And if they block here, I would be super happy. So the most they can deal is they can pump their team. I can still trade with the Air Marshal maybe. Okay, they can do that, which is not really such a big deal. Like I said, the removal is based on locking things down, so it doesn't do much against the Siege Veteran. I will take the 5 or 7 damage now. I can still beat them in a race situation. So if they don't use this mass pump effect, that means they have something to play on my turn. And they have only one card. Okay, yeah, they actually have something for my turn. Now it could be the Flash Flyer, for instance. But I think I will start with this thing, see what the Steel Seeker does. Show me, get more information. Well, I'm gonna keep that one too. That means I don't need to play the wings this turn unless I want to equip it also, but I can equip this thing instead, so that's better. Let's give the Steel Seeker the equipment here. And well, let's give it the counter. Let's see what happens. I don't know. Maybe they wanted to leave this pump ability up so that the Marshal can block a 3 toughness creature, but of course that's not gonna work that well now. They just have nothing, and okay, they actually just missed out on 2 damage. They wanted to keep the threat of activation here somehow, but they are not winning the race here. Okay, they get red mana, which I haven't seen earlier. That's a removal spell on the veteran, but no, more elites, which are good cards by the way. But of course my veteran is giving me some value every turn, and they can't really keep up that easily. They also gave me some life with the lay down arms. Alright, so Onulet, easy choice here first. Reveal that thing, and then I should also play this thing to see another trigger. This might die in combat now, so let's use it while I can. Shoot down. Well, there's the ambush paratrooper. So let's see, next turn they can attack a lot in the air, but not if I... No, I don't have mana to equip this thing, by the way. So the most they can do is they can use 6 mana to make these guys fly. That's still... it's only 9 damage, then they don't have, of course, mana for this. So I guess I could use the shoot down here. I can also, you know, get rid of the weak stone subjugation, but I don't think that's gonna be that relevant. Now I can move this... No, I can't. I don't have any. So, well, I can move it on the siege veteran, but then it will just trade with the marshal unless I will give it the counter. But then again, if I move this away, no, the best play here is, I think, rather obvious, because I can make this into a 4-power creature. Now this at least forces them to make some kind of blocks. This should be actually a trivial decision, but I just maybe didn't see it right away. Okay, that's gonna trade with one of those elites, which is totally fine. And then, since I do have 1 white mana up, I can equip this on my only soldier. Why not? Yeah, I have actually now, what, 4 lethal attackers here. And they are in no position to do anything. They have also a lot of lands, 8 lands to my 6. Sometimes those little differences make... It really makes a difference. Okay, so if I exile the paratrooper, this is a win, because my guys will be... I mean, I will have a 4-power attacker now that they can't block. So I don't even have to, you know, do any more equipping or stuff like that. Okay. Well, I'm not sure if the siege... Well, the siege veteran did a bunch of work there, but if it was some other 3-drop, it would have of course been something else than a 2-2 that doesn't participate in combat. Maybe the opponent flooding there was just their doom. Another Bondlander. I'm gonna mulligan it into a 0-lander. Oh yeah, well, let's go to 5. There's a hand I can keep. Not a good one though. Well, if I find my siege veteran, I can return it with the recommission. And of course you have to always get a little bit lucky when you have to go down to 5 when the opponent keeps 7. So let's see if I can get lucky. My first play will be on turn 4. I might just, of course, lose the 2-drop, 3-drop curve out here. bushwhack, getting them a land. Okay, a third color. I guess with this thing I should play a Deadly Riposte. Okay, well, I just draw these lands. I actually would prefer to have either of these over, these lands, but whatever. What can you do? Sometimes games go like this. Interesting timing. I'm actually gonna play the Inspector now. Neither of these can block the Sprite. I can bring this back, and this makes actually the Crusher into a 6-drop, which I already have mana for. If I just have some play for the next turn. Well, I mean, these Sprites are gonna do some. Okay, just kill it so I can bring it back. No, not with the exiling card. No. I guess I have to play the Crusher now. Well, I guess I can at least protect it with the Giant Growth, but I would have preferred to get this other guy back. But yeah, these sprites are really good because the format has a lot of artifacts, of course, and it's just unbookable. My deck has, of course, plenty of non-artifact. Creatures that I can use to block. I also can, deal a bunch of. I can deal 10 damage with the Crusher. So who knows? Maybe if opponent is totally flooding out. So they're gonna now use 7 mana too. I'm actually 4 damage short of. But if I take this now, I'll take 6 damage. Because they might pump. I'm actually, because of the recommission, I'm actually gonna do it like this. But because if they're gonna tap 7 mana for this thing, I can actually, if I get a Power Blade, I just win. Isn't that correct? No, it's not exactly a win, because the engineer dies. I could deal 17. Sorry, 7 times 2 at 14. And I know I could have used the Giant Growth there, but I didn't want to. I still would have lost my guy, and I can bring it back with the... Because, I mean, I can use a Giant Growth here and deal 10 right now. So next turn I might have even lethal. I mean, if I win with the Crusher like that, that would be so fun. So let's do this here and the recommission. I can even jump block here. So let's see, this is exciting. They just attack with both. Okay, they have a statue. Well, they have a blocker, sadly. That is, unless they... Well, it depends on if they are gonna have... Alright, so they need to land to activate it as a blocker. No, sorry, they of course will be permanently... It's a permanent creature now, so... It's a little bit more difficult now, but... Oh, with Gaia's Gift. Alright, so how to actually... I mean, I mulligan to 5 here and I'm actually... If the opponent didn't have this 5/5 on this turn... Oh, I would have... With these duo of tricks, this would be quite nice. So, first of all, I can make... this guy into a 5 power guy. Which will give +5/+0. I can make it a 6 power guy. So this could be a 12/12 trample indestructible now. Sadly, it's not gonna be enough. How do I actually win here? I could give the Crusher +3/+3 and then attack with the Engineer, give it plus. But then they just block with the Sprite on the Engineer. I guess I can use a Gaia's Gift, but I mean, I can't, sadly the opponent, is holding back now, which is correct for them. But I wish they had a kind of curve out that involves them keeping attacking, because I was almost dealing lethal here. Well, I was dealing actually lethal if they had some other kind of plays, especially with the Gaia's Gift drawn here. So I can force them to do some weird blocks, I guess. I think this is the best play I can have now happen. Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna be great, but I'm gonna do this. They can still maybe not take enough damage so that they will lose. Like this. 7 trample. +5 is exactly 12. Unless they have a Giant Growth. Well, I mean... The opponent could have played around that, but... They chose not to. I am happy about that because I'm multi to 5 and I faced a pretty nasty onslaught, but yeah. My Crusher really was the MVP here, for sure. Wow, what a win. Okay, let's hope that I can keep, you know, seven cards. But now I have some sideboarding to do. I like the riposte, I like the disenchant on the thing was there. I could even maybe consider shoot down, but that's probably not needed. Now they have a bushwhack and an obliterating bolt to target my things. I also kind of want to play the Lawrence Escape, and I think I have to cut one giant growth here. And maybe I will not need the power blade in this matchup. They might also actually could deal with like a... No, it's not a good idea. It can deal with the statue when it's not a creature, but the animation is already a creature. You know, it's gonna draw a card, so exiling it is just not so good value. Although the giant growth is by the way good against the burn-based removal, maybe I should have it still in the deck. Any other cards? Do I care about the wings in this matchup? Do I care about all the... I'm gonna play the Tinkering. Maybe the Clear Cutter is still... No, it allows me to play my Amulets a little bit earlier. Also the Pallbearer. It just doesn't block their 2-drops at all. That's kind of annoying. I guess I'm going to cut the Clear Cutter. And then I need one more card. Could be the... No, the Patrol is a good blocker on their sprites, so I'm gonna keep that. Maybe I will cut like the wings. No, against red-green though, the wings is quite nice. But if they are the aggressor, I don't need it. I have only 8 artifacts though. I don't want to cut too many of my artifacts. I guess I'll cut like a... I don't know, the Patrol. I have 10 seconds time. Fast. Fine. I'm gonna cut the engineer. I don't like the cut because it also can block the sprite, but I can think it that I put the deadly riposte in place of the engineer, which I think is the correct choice. They have a 1 mana card. I have a turn 4 Amulet if this doesn't get exiled like in the previous game. Sprite. Well, I can at least play the Patrol on turn... Yeah, but I will get to play the Amulet on turn 5 latest. Hey, they have also blue. How many colors do they have? Well, the good news here is that with these 5 lands I drew the expensive stuff, so I don't mind having these lands. Now actually I think with the Patrol I should just play it. It can threaten blocking this guy, and then next turn I can play the Inspector anyway. Because if I play the Inspector, and even if they don't remove it, this Amulet can't block the sprite either, so now I'm making them, you know, deal with this Patrol. They might exile it with the burn spell they have. Or on Confrontation. So they will still get to attack, unfortunately. But I think it was fine. Alright, so let's play the Inspector now. Can't block any of that, although this... Unless they have also the island here. Activating this is quite expensive. But yeah, this with Mightstone's animation is really good. Alright, I don't like that. This is a reason to play, I believe, a reason to play the... Done. Come on. What was I saying? Reason to play shoot down, maybe also. If I didn't put it, I think I put a disenchant. Anyway, let's do something, because I could play both the Amulet and the Mutt, but I actually... And I could play the Crusher too, even leave mana for the guy as gift actually. Is that what I'm gonna do? It's a 2-5 against this. Then I can play gift it. The next turn Amulet. I'm actually going to do that. It's gonna be a 3-6 after I've gifted, so it's still quite useful with the ability because it cares about its power. Adding a counter on this thing is always nice. I could have just played the Amulet, but I don't know if I would just want to straight up trade with the Juggernaut. I like this turn with the gift. I hope they don't have like the instant speed red spell that deals 5, because they could have that. And that would be horrible. I still can't block the sprite here. Okay, so that thing gets that. Well, I guess my gift is... Oh, this is actually really good. The Juggernaut has to attack. Please don't respond to this thing. They have the statue activation here. Okay, this is amazing. Oh, sadly it got hexproof, so it wasn't as amazing, because now this is an invalid target. But this Juggernaut has to attack into the Inspector now, which is indestructible. Okay, well they have that. Now, okay, they had really good stuff going on. I'd still take 2 trample damage, and I get... Oh, they can activate that. Wow, 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 wow. If I knew they also have the pushback there, that would have been a little bit different. Okay, actually, should I do this? I can block the... Yeah, I should do this, because this has reach now. I get to at least kill that, but I'm down to a low life total here. The escape is quite nice though. So let's do this. And of course... Oh, I can't... Yeah, this just shows how annoying the sprite is. I actually needed to land for the pole bearer to actually block the sprite. So... Well, I get to scry with this Laurence escape. I wanna... Yeah, I'm going to block with both of these so that I don't get any trample damage here. Oh man, the epic confrontation here. But how many colors do they have? Because they have already also an island in their deck. Unless they sideboarded it out, of course. Oh, they don't realize that the sprite can't be blocked by either of these. Wow, wow, wow. They just missed out on 2 damage. These are both artifacts. Thopter. Actually, I just need to land. I need to land. So... Because it's only gonna be a matter of time when they realize that they actually can attack with the sprite into this board. Oh boy. But yeah, I should be at 3. They didn't need to leave this thing as a blocker for sure. There is the land. So I can, in fact... Now they will be able to do this. So I'm gonna leave the amulet to block it. I have to absorb the damage. But I suppose I can now attack with the Foundry Inspector. No, it's not gonna block anything here. So when they attack with the Juggernaut, I will block with the amulet, go down to 4, then I gain 2 when it is dies, and then I still have this option available as an unearth. So I have a pretty good board state here, so I don't mind this, unless they have I mean, even a giant growth won't kill me. I will go to 1 if they have a giant growth, so this is fine. Now I go back to 6 and I can unearth it, and then go back to 8, because this will of course leave the battlefield after you unearth it. Okay, let's first play the Mutt, because I don't need the planes for anything. That could be interesting, but there's no reason to... Yeah, they are not gonna deal 8 to me, so I can do this. I can't really see them blocking. So they are gonna take a chunk of damage, and I go to 8, so this shouldn't be lethal really. There's just no way. And then they can't... Of course they are facing a massive board from me. So... I think I just might have won the game if they don't have something insane here now. This is a Trampler after all. They have to put 5 toughness on front of it. And they have to still block the Inspector and the Mutt, or, you know, remove. Some combination of removing and having blockers for my guys. And they have only 2 cards. Another Bushwhack isn't gonna do. Okay, there's the blue producing land, but what is their blue spell? A Springleaf Drum. Well, that's exactly nothing, so Interesting, it was a nasty turn when they had the confrontation and the bushwhack there, but in the end I was able to endure. Okay, final match, and I did get my 2 match wins already, which I said I will be happy about. Um, I'm on the play, so I'm gonna keep it. If I draw a creature, it will be fine curve out, and I can play the wings anyway. At least, you know, can make my land into a creature if I really want to. I don't know if I wanted to draw another amulet here, but I suppose I have some, you know, sort of big creatures here available. A Mind Worker. Okay, is that a... Okay, now this is a very nice card now. I can even, you know, do a little bit of trick with the tinkering. I can make it into a 3/4 if they like tap out and make a bad block. Okay, no Tower Worker. Also sadly, oh well, that was a good one. Now I actually need the 5th land. Yeah, what I was saying that sadly I can't attack into that guy because it has 4 toughness, so the tinkering won't even do anything. But I can still attack, because what I will be doing here is, although this might, they're gonna gain life regardless. I mean, they're gonna attack no matter what. So I'll just deal 2, and now I'm just hoping to draw a land. I mean, it would be, of course, be awkward to draw the amulet and not draw the 5th land. But I guess I can cast like a... What spells can't I cast? I can't cast the 6-drop, the Pallbearer. I can cast... I mean, I think that is the only thing. Do I have any other 5 mana spells? Because all my lands enter untapped. I don't have anything but basics in the deck. So my draw will be something I can use with very high likelihood. And they used 4 mana to get rid of the enchantment, sorry, the equipment here. Not a big deal. They actually choose not to attack with the lifelinker. Well, I'm not going to block with my dissident when I'm about to get all nice triggers here. Okay, starting with this guy. And the Steel Seeker gets me closer to lands. I'm gonna give a counter to... I guess if I give it to the Steel Seeker, it can block the Mind Worker. I could also give it to the Reconstructed Hoptopter too, but I think I like the idea to give it to this guy. Reveal that thing, thank you. That's basically all I needed here. Now I can play many turns with the spells I have. And I will now start putting counters on the Thopter. They might have some big prototype creatures they can cast for full cost, and of course I need to start working on their life total in the air now. Don't know why I played the land first, but whatever. Because if I now draw a land, I could have played the one I revealed, but a minor thing. Okay, so give the counter on the Thopter, start dealing some damage in the air. Perimeter Patrol. Well, I can make that into like a 4/4. I think it's a worthy thing to pick. I'll play the Monulet on the next turn most likely anyway. They will gain 1 life per turn with the worker. I'm just happy if they don't have the full set of these, because they are really obnoxious to deal with. I suppose my sideboard has a bunch of, has a Disenchant and a Shoot Down to deal with artifacts if I really want to do that, but... Okay, so they are tapped out, which means I can maybe try to get them with the Tinkering. If I attack with the Amulet and they don't block with the Pallbearer, what's gonna happen? They can still block with the... I guess if they block with the unit and the worker here, that is fine. Problem is they might block with the Pallbearer and the Stone Retrieval unit, and this being a 6/6 still won't do much, so I'm gonna actually just play the other one. I can, you know, like consider double blocking the Pallbearer, or maybe I should actually play it safe and give one of these amulets a counter. I don't have to get blown out by a double block of some kind. Or maybe I can raise them. Actually, I can take the 5. I'm gonna actually give this guy the counter. Because they still don't have a good attack. Thank you. They don't have a good attack in the air. sorry, in the ground if they don't have tricks, because I can threaten at least a double block with my amulet. So. And if they attack, I'm gonna suspect a trick, which means I won't be, of course, blocking. I can take the 5 here. And I have a good counter attack even with the Tonus is tinkering up here. So anything big now. They played the big thing. That is the opposite of a big thing. They do have the dig site to get some value from their excess mana, but okay, how to do it now? Now that I have. Yeah, I have no idea how they're gonna block. I guess the thing is that if they double block with the pole barrier and like a retrieval unit, I still have the option to just trade with the retrieval unit. They have to block both of my 4/4s anyway. I am going, and these things have unearth, they trigger my dissonant and all that, so I actually don't mind this. I don't want them to get value out of the dig site because they are in a better shape when you know, top decking. Okay, they use that for some reason right now. And how are they gonna block? Sort of, okay, they get information that makes sense. Do they keep that on top or... Okay, it's a planes which they mill. Now they probably are gonna block somehow. That blocks there. So they should... I mean, that is... Yeah, this is a good double block. I can only kill either the medic or the honor guard. And but also if they... I mean, I can now eat the pole bearer, and this will actually survive the combat now. So which one of these do I want to actually get rid of? The 3-1 contributes to blocks better, but then again, it has only 1 toughness. I think I'd rather kill the lifelinker there. Like that, and I will do this. They go to 11 from the lifelink. I can play the patrol here. And next turn I have this up, which will trigger these guys once more. They do have to find some kind of an answer on the Thopter here, actually. Also, the 6/6 is not something they can just... No, they have to also do something to that. I think I'm going to... With the counter to the perimeter patrol, then they can't just block with the honor guard. That seems to make sense. But the Thopter is a threat they need to deal with anyway. So there's no reason to enhance it further. But now this, that's a good one, because it will trigger this again. So what was I gonna say? Yeah, now they can't just trade with the honor guard there. They have 1 card in their hand. If that's nothing, I'm in a good shape. If it's some kind of a trick, well, they still couldn't have done everything they wanted to do, and that was enough for them. Alright, so a green-white mirror. Pole bearer, shoot down. Shoot down is good against some of my stuff like a double amulet, but at least they have to, you know, pay 4 mana for it. I didn't see the other, Ursatron workers, so I'm not concerned about that. I didn't see anything that makes me want to sideboard in my own shoot down or a disenchant. These things definitely are not enough. But do I want to have some more tricks? Like I'm thinking about them. Loran's Escape. Usually against green, the Power Stone Engineer is a little bit underwhelming. You know, this 2-3. It's bad against the medic and the unit. Yeah, I know it can, trade with the Mindworker and the Honor Guard, but I have early drops here. I think I will play the Discipline instead of the Power Stone Engineer. Or maybe I should play the Perimeter Patrol number 2. I do like the small trick here though. I don't think I need the Clear Cutter. I'm gonna just play the Perimeter Patrol. That is still 9 artifacts plus the Opportunist that can give me some artifact EDB triggers. Yeah, this is fine. At least for the game 2. Maybe I see something else from their deck that in case I lose I can still adjust my deck. Yeah, I just like the sideboarding aspect in best of 3 is such a nice one. Right, this is a two-lander I can keep because I have all these playable cards. And even drew a land right away. I can play the sprites and I can return them with a counter. Okay, now that is a scary one. Don't have any artifacts now, so I don't play this. But yeah, this, if they follow it up with many artifacts, it's gonna be a little bit difficult, but hopefully they don't have many artifacts. Okay, well that still allows my sprite to attack. Maybe that's a reason to play the Steel Seeker this turn. Because I wanna hit my land drops. And I don't wanna play this until this is on the battlefield. So yeah, let's do that. Any more artifacts? I have no removal on the Dissident here. Mask of the Jade Crafter. Well, that's a tough one. At least it can't block the sprites. But this could be a little bit awkward now. Let's dig into a land. I need to draw more lands. Oh boy. Do I have time for that? I'm taking a lot of damage in the air already. I just don't see how another land is gonna help me. I guess I'll keep that, but I also don't, because I have to try to raise them. But I'm not sure if I can do it. I can jump block the Mask of the Jade Crafter with the Steel Seeker at least. And this 5/5 won't be able to. I take 5 in the air. But they can't block the sprite. If I draw like, giant growth or something, I'm not exactly sure what's the method here to actually win, but I think I'm gonna have a shoot down, because shoot down works against the wings also, so that I can exile the creature itself, and it's also good against the mask if before they get to use it. Okay, now they have a defensive card that can deal with the sprite. Military discipline, helps there, but well, I guess this is my best chance, so I'm gonna do it like this. Because I can play discipline on whichever they block, and then of course... Oh, I should have recommissioned my creature first. Alright, because they can actually choose to get rid of my only creature in the graveyard. Oh man. Well, I can play the Argotian Sprite, which can still block, so it's not the end of the world, but I should have probably recommissioned first. Okay, they chose not to use that ability. Alright, so in that case, I rather jump block with the Steel Seeker, I think. Now, of course, if they have an artifact, I just... Oh, but no. They only have to... and fine. They have an artifact on the graveyard. They also can just move around the equipment. Okay, they have that. Well, that's another reason to... Okay, I'm gonna put both the... I've seen enough. Disenchant and Shoot Down both go to the deck. That's enough targets. Disenchant, Shoot Down, where are you? And now I'm going to not play the Discipline. And what is the other stuff? Well, kinda I like... Maybe it is gonna be one of the perimeter patrols now. Riposte... Well, I'm on the play now. I am on the play. So I try to be the aggressor, right? Yeah, this is fine. Let's do it like this. Final game of the event. Conveniently, because I soon have to leave to do some other things. Alright, fantastic hand. Don't have to be too lucky to get a good curve out. Ideally, of course, I will draw some lands to get these 5 and 6 drops at some point. But then again, I can cast pretty much almost all the spells, and I have these 2 and 3 drop here already. Do they have the... Okay, they didn't have them... Didn't have the, you know, the counter adding 2 drop, but I'm not going to attack into that. Not gonna give them the power stone. That makes no sense. I mean, I would have otherwise traded with it because I have another sprite, but I don't want to give them the early power stone. That can be beneficial for them. I still have the 2 power flyer in here. Okay, I need some of my tricks now. Well, that's gonna be okay if they have the Mask of the Jade Crafter. Okay, I'm just attacking with this guy. Then they might have the Urza's Battlethopter too, we'll see. Obstinate Bailout. I don't like that. Why are you playing so good cards now suddenly? Oh boy. These guys don't attack, don't block. I mean, I can block now, but it's just horrible. I'm gonna hope to draw like a giant growth. That's my way to move forward here. I'm in big trouble now. Yeah, the opponent had better. I mean, they met my curve out really well because the Power Stone engines are so good when when they can. I mean, it's just. I mean, giving them the Power Stones, losing my sprites. Because I just need to find a 5th land for the Onulet to actually be able to block these guys. Well, now my shoot down. I hope they're gonna do the Bailout here. Come on. Yes, shoot down can exile the Bailout. Alright. I guess I hope they attack with everything. I will take the 9 here. I could block 1 engineer though. This gets me some value once I find my 5th land, but then again this is 9 damage actually. I should maybe... Because I'm going to play the shoot down anyway. Let's just take 7 here. It's fine. Let them have 1 of these tokens. And now... Okay, recommission, not a bad one. I can exile the Bailout, which is more important than exiling the aura. Sorry, equipment there. Now I'm still taking 3 in the air. But I have a blocker for 1 flyer. And I need to get some lucky draws for sure, because this is gonna... they were able to deal a bunch of damage to me, and also we know the Bailout gaining them 4 life. You see how relevant it is? They would be at 10 and this would be such a different story if I was able to now, you know, attack them down to even 6 now, or 4 actually. I'm just thinking that maybe I don't want to attack with the Thopter now. I'm gonna play the Amulet. They have 3 cards in their hand, none of them was a creature. They might have the Battlethopter. I'm going to leave this to block. They might have the Flash Flyer there. So yeah. Okay, no Battlethopter, no nothing. They didn't even use the dig site to surveil. Wow, that must have been a mistake. They're gonna exile this, are they? Prison sentence. Okay, if I lose now to any kind of damage ability. Yep. Well, that was it then. It was close. I wasn't winning on the next turn unless, yeah, I have only 1 creature in my graveyard. So of course I was really top decking here to get an answer to the wings. But of course, yeah, this was just result of them having this very... I mean, if I just trade it with both of the Power Stone engineers, it's so awkward when they can just drop some very large, you know, artifact creature once I'm at a stage in the game when I'm myself dropping like 3 drops and 4 drops. But they had a good curve out regardless there. I guess I just needed one of my tricks to help me in the combat. But well, aggressive start followed by aeronaut swings is a path to victory often, so that happened. It was still a fine result because I don't think the deck was a particularly good one. Getting 2 match wins is totally, something you can't be too disappointed of. This deck, I mean, tinkering did some fun work there, but this needed something like a, scrap work cohort. Then, yeah, the pole bearer. I could have had some maybe like a obstinate payload of my own. This was a little bit of a deck with a bunch of filler cards, but yeah, I'm just figuring out what's because of course I had some artifact generated here, so maybe. Well, I think 2 scrapwork cohorts in this deck would have made a little bit of would have made a big difference. So those would be the key cards in this archetype, especially when I have all these synergy pieces for them. But I didn't get them, so I didn't get them. That was it for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Then I think I'm actually going to open all my packs only just before the next set. I just figured out that I'm still going to draft this set until at least make videos until the next set releases. So I think I will just open all my packs after my final draft video of Brothers War, because it's kind of then I have the stats for every draft, not just for the drafts before I open all my packs. So that will take until February before I open all my packs, but then at least I should be able to complete the set without any questions, even if I get a bit unlucky in opening all the packs and not getting enough mythic rares, because sometimes the rate has been quite low compared to the average. But yeah, there will be a bunch of drafts still before the next set, so I will see you in them. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.